I didn't go to class at all this week. Um, oh, what am I wearing? I'm wearing one of the few things that I'm able to actually wear. Right? I mean, it's red is sort of a problematic color. Usually, I wear all black or all blue. Um, I don't even really know how to begin to talk about this. I'm just I all I did right now. I'm studying. Actually, I'm studying. Um, all I did was pick up the phone to start filming a video. The background I can't do anything about. I have lots of homework I have to do today. I've had lots of homework I've had to do all week. There were other things that I had to do all week, but I did not go to one class this week because of various types of things, all of them having to do with the way the conglomerate treats me. Everything, every last thing that caused me to not be in school at all this week was something the conglomerate has done to me, and it's still acting like the way it's treating me is like really fun. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all me. It's so funny. I mean, I am just the unbelievable chronic victim of adult bullying. That's what's been going on for all of these years. And I'm not even sure why I decided to film this video. It's really hard for me. It's actually difficult for me to manage my anger about everything that's happening to me. Because it's so relentless. It doesn't make any sense. Everything is illegal. Everything that has happened to me has been totally illegal. While I'm just punished and punished and punished over and over and over and over and over again, as if I'm the one who's doing something wrong. Yeah, I mean, and it's not. I mean, it's not. It wasn't really so much like an emotional reaction to what I'm going through that kept me home this week. It was like just other types of serious problems that I had to deal with because of it, because of the way that I've been treated during all of this time. And then a little bit also just having a lot of things, tests, papers, that kind of thing, sort of all happening at once. And to a certain extent, feeling like in addition to needing the extra time, just needing the time to do the work, it does take something out of me just to leave my house. It does. It takes something out of me. It always has, in terms of like what I have to deal with when I'm out there in the world, because I'm treated like this person who like just literally I'm just like a piñata. I am a piñata for people to do anything they want to. And I think the thing that I was thinking when I decided to film this video was the way that the conglomerate decides what the standard is for normal sexual behavior. And its standard for normal sexual behavior is that it's all right to stalk and harass women, that it's all right to have sex with children, that it's all right to videotape people in the bathroom of where they live, or homeless shelters, or psychiatric units, or anywhere else you can get video of people where they can't stop you from doing that. This is the conglomerate's standard for what normal sexual behavior is, right? Whereas, and it excuses itself for all of this, acts like there's nothing wrong with it, right? And then it will single out various people. Sorry, excuse me. See, that's an example of my having to cough, which is something that I try to understand when other people also have to cough. I don't just freak out when somebody coughs. I try to assess, whether or not they're doing something to try to deliberately annoy me. Sorry, excuse me. And even sometimes when they are doing something to deliberately annoy me, I will decide whether or not I'm actually going to say something about it to them at that time. I mean, I often ignore it when people harass me. I ignore it because I have something else to do, because I know it won't do any good, because I at least can say how I feel about it later if I write a page about it or something like that, even if I just write about it generally, as in this many people coughed at me today. Somebody just coughed at me again. I'm not doing anything to anybody. Why are you treating me like this? That kind of thing. Sometimes I can't ignore it. Sometimes people are so obnoxious that I really just can't even take it anymore, and I will say something. And even then, they don't seem to have any kind of concern about the way that they're affecting me. There are people who have done that to me. Like, they just think it's hysterical, like the funniest thing ever. It's like, how many other people do you think are like that in my life every day? Why don't you think about what you're doing before you add to my stress? I have literally never done anything to you ever in my entire life. Yeah, so there's that side of it being very, very dehumanizing. And there's nothing I can do. There's no number of videos that I ever publish about how I feel about this is gonna balance out just this constant onslaught of propaganda about me. Literally, there's nothing I'm ever gonna be able to do as long as the conglomerate and everyone who's involved in that continues to portray me to the world as being whatever, this freak, a nymphomaniac, someone who stares at people's crotches. I know that that's a rumor. I know that that's a rumor about me. It's not true. It's not true. Everybody screws up sometimes. I go about my business. I do what I have to do, especially when you're in a new environment. You're not used to like the patterns of motion of people. People are going here, they're going there. You're around so many other people all the time. And you have to kind of have to get used to it. You have to adjust to it. And I've been uprooted in so many times in terms of what I was doing with my life that it can take a while to. There's always something. There's always something going on. I have not been able to establish stability in my life for a long time. I haven't really. I've never really had it. So it's just when you're not used to kind of where things are, where people are going to be, where they're going to be sitting, where they're going to be standing, when they're going to be moving around you, what the kind of the dress code is of the people around you. You look up and there are somebody's boobs, or you turn around a corner and you're staring at the ground and you look up a little bit and there's somebody's crotch, right? And if people decide that they're going to single out something about you and blow it totally out of proportion, no pun intended, they can do that to you. Other things about me, totally normal sexually in every possible way, have been totally blown out of proportion. And I am just like hammered about it year after year after year after year. While the conglomerate says it's okay to have sex with kids. While laws are getting changed so that thousands of sex offenders are being taken off registers. So that they can go out and offend again. I mean, it's just, and in the midst of all this, I'm not having sex with anybody. I'm not doing anything to anybody, right? I'm not harassing people. I'm not stalking people. I'm not hacking people's phones. I'm not hacking their email. I have no desire to do any of those things, or to get video of people in bathrooms, or to just make their lives so miserable that it's almost impossible for them even just to get through a day in a normal way, right? I try not to let how I feel about all of this stuff all the time affect the way that I'm behaving in just kind of regular settings. When I go to class, I try to be in class and pay attention to the subject of the class. When I'm working, I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm working. When I'm interacting with people kind of in a regular way, as much as I can, I try to concentrate on that. It doesn't mean that all of the time, every conscious second of every single day, I'm not thinking about and not overwhelmed about what I'm dealing with and how I'm being treated and what I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. Because I promise you, I am thinking about that all of the time. There is never a time when I'm not thinking about that. So maybe you can think about that before you decide you're going to add to what I'm going through on a regular basis, right? You're going to, whatever, you're going to cough at me to see what I do. You're going to say something about me to see what I say. While I'm going about my business doing absolutely nothing to you, just because you want to find out what happens, right? Because you have nothing better to do with your time.